Good morning, everyone. My name's Lisa Wilson, and this is episode number 3. And I am going to walk you through a cupcake bouquet that got a lot of wonderful reviews when I posted it on Facebook. So there was a lot of feedback wondering how difficult it was, and I had mentioned how easy it is. So today I'm actually going to paint you a quick picture on what it takes to build one. So Ava, my little co-pilot here, is going to make a small one, and I'm going to make the larger one, and we are going to walk you through step by step. So first of all, we picked up a container. So this container I found at the dollar store. You can get them at Walmart or Michael's, but I like to do things on a budget. So this container was $2. I picked up a ball, so a round styrofoam ball, which was $1. And you want to make sure that it is large enough to sit inside, but not like such. So this is too big for that size. This is in proportion. It kind of sits nice and nestled inside. And Ava, you want to go ahead and put yours in there? So we have our container, we have our sphere. So together this was $4. And you can pick these up at the dollar store as well. It's your skewers. I happen to have these ones at home. They're longer than what we need. So today we're going to start by cutting them, because you typically, right now, they are this long, and we need them to be half the size. So like I said, you could pick them up at the dollar store for $1. Takes you a long way. But today I'm going to use what I have. So I have the longer skewers. So we're going to start by cutting these in half. So Ava, I'm going to go ahead and give you a couple of cut. One point that's sharp. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the sphere, or the skewer, and we're going to cut it on an angle. And that allows us to be able to use the sharp end on both, so that we actually get to use. So earlier this week, I started by baking my cupcakes. For the larger size of the container, you need 18 medium-sized cupcakes. So a little baker's trick is for the best moistness, I always pull my cupcakes out just shy. So the reason that I've done the cupcakes a little bit on just cooked side is that when we go to actually insert the cupcakes into our bouquet, it's moist enough and it's not hard, and you're not, it's not crumbly. We start from the base. So you see how you have your ball, okay? This is called the base, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a skewer, Eva, and you're gonna be careful because these are sharp, okay? So you're gonna grab yourself one of your skewers, and with the edge that I cut on the angle, because I wanna keep the sharpest edge for when I poke the bottoms of the cupcake. So you wanna start from the base and slight on an angle, not this way, because if you do it this way, you're gonna have cupcakes fade. You just a slight angle, and you're going to insert. And you're gonna push it and allow it about yay. So here's your cupcake, the width of your cupcake. So once you have your icing, you wanna do that. You see how hers though, it's straight, and mine has a slight angle. You're gonna wanna have a little bit more of an angle. So the next one stands inches apart, like an inch or so. And again, and then what you do is you go all the way around. Sometimes what I do is kind of like floral arranging. I sometimes will start from the top as well. So you have one in the middle. It's really important. And it sort of helps sometimes create how far out my sticks are going to be. So in terms of the top one, it goes all the way around, matches up, so that they're not all different heights. We've got our first row, and then we move in between the spaces. So you can see I've done the base. Usually what I do is once all the skewers are into the ball, I then go afterwards and I kind of trim them, make sure all the tips have the sharp edges when I insert my cupcake. And basically the rule of thumb is you need 3 skewers per cupcake. But as I start to fill in my skewers, if you'll notice, I'm going to come in through here on the second row, and I'm going to put it on an angle. You're going to notice that allows me 3 skewers for 1 cupcake. So once the depth of the cupcake, you'll notice here that once it's iced, the icing, you won't notice the sphere once I put in the ice it this base. The base of this cupcake goes in the 3. project to do on a rainy day. I think we did it when it was snowing a couple weeks ago, and we did it for a friend's birthday party. And what a great idea! It almost too pretty at the end to eat, and people not quite sure if it's flour or if it's actually something they can eat. So I always like to create pieces that are warm and inviting and sweet, and give them as gifts. I often like to make things with food and give them as gifts.
Sometimes if a new neighbor would move into the new neighborhood, then she would like bake them some treats, homemade treats. Yeah. So be really welcoming for them.
Exactly, make them feel at home.
You want to make them feel at home and welcome, and everybody likes you already as a neighbor.
Oh, they do. We hope. We don't know what they say behind closed doors. I'm not taking orders, by the way. Everybody is asking me if I'm taking orders. And so instead of taking orders, I thought I would use this opportunity to actually guide you so that you can do this. Yeah, so this way, I'm using this opportunity to show you how I do it, so then you can go ahead and do this on your own. Being in the kitchen and having it as an opportunity to get to know one another, and I make it out. You get?
Yeah.
So one of the greatest things I always used to say in the wedding industry to my amazing team was, it's never the easy days that you learn, it's always in the hiccups. So I'm gonna allow Ava her first attempt to make her ball, and she will see that in doing so why it was important to put the sticks a certain way. And you don't learn from the easy times. You're going to learn always. We have completed the larger sphere with all of these Sharpie spiky skewers on them. Kind of looks like a bad hair day for someone. I usually take this time to just give it a good whirl, give it a turn, and this is an opportunity for me to just trim anyone that's poking out a little further than I want the tip to. So I just kind of go around and I just make sure that there's nothing out here and one inside. You want them fairly all the same size. So because we are floral arranging but with actual cupcakes, some people might not be extremely comfortable with piping bags or just the techniques of being able at the very end to fill in your gaps. So while I'm in the skewers, I have found, or you can get it at the dollar store, and it's just your fake greens from the dollar store, and you just pull the leaves off and allow yourself to have a bit of the stem here, and you're going to line up the stem of your greenery with your skewer, so they're like this. And then I'm going to take a little bit of floral tape. Again, you can get this at the dollar store. I happen to have it always kind of kicking around because I'm always into something, into flowers or something. And I pull and I marry the two sticks together so that now I have a piece of greenery on a stick. So this for Ava's, once all the cupcakes come in, we actually use this to fill in the gap. So it actually looks like a bouquet. So they're gonna come out like the ribbons at the end, because once your cupcakes are on an ice, to try to get in behind and actually start to put the ribbon on, that's gonna be finished. I'm gonna use a smaller one, and I'm gonna poke. So I'm gonna start from the back. I'm gonna poke my ribbon, and the reason I'm doing that, and I'm gonna insert it just like that, so it has somewhere to stay. Oh, our ribbon now is set. We can do yours with a ribbon, or we can do.
You can do the ribbon.
You want me to do the ribbon? It takes 18 full cupcakes. When I'm baking my cupcakes, I also use it as an opportunity to bake some of the mini ones. And the mini ones are wonderful because if you have spaces in your bouquet and it can't support the size of a big cupcake, then you're able to fill in some of the gaps. So I always bake a dozen or so of the little ones while I'm baking. So we're going to start by taking our cupcake, and the magic part, this is where you'll notice that you needed those angles. So your cupcake just like bouquet, I like to mix up my tips, and I like to, because it is a mixed bouquet, like flowers, if you're doing a mixed bouquet of flowers, then there's different stems and different petals and different piping tips that can create the illusion. So I'm going to just do some swirled so it just looks like a garden rose, and these ones here that look like carnations. And in doing that, instead of the swirl where you go around the edges and into the middle, the carnation is just a squeeze and pull up, squeeze, pull up, squeeze and pull up. And all it is you're just covering it like such. And when it's all done, it gives you the illusion that it looks like carnation. So I just pick which ones I kind of want to have look like that. So I'm going to randomly again work from the sides out. And this one's going to be my rose. So I'm just going randomly again. This one here, I'm going to do as a carnation. And the glorious thing about this is I have them so nicely budded together that once you actually add your different colors, you won't see any of the imperfections. So stay tuned. Now I've gone and made a purple icing. I thought that was a great opportunity to show you a little trick I learned in my Save on Foods days. So your piping bag, I like to use the disposable plastic ones. You can wash them, rinse them, reuse them. You don't need all of the little screw tops. You simply take a knife, cut the edge at an angle, and insert your tip. It's durable and sturdy. You can purchase these at Scoop and Save. You can buy the littler ones, or you can buy the heavy dutier ones. This one, I actually went across the street to Safeway and I asked them if they would help me out. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold over your piping bag, and you're going to put your hand at the base, and you're folding it over so that it acts like a little muppet. So what we're going to do is we have our hole, and we use our hands, and our hands become the tool. When you put your icing in the bag, you use your hands to pull it down, and as you're filling it, your hands goes up higher and higher. So when I used to work at Save on Foods, I used to try to fill my piping bags, and I would have icing everywhere. And it wasn't until I was shown this little trick, and it stayed with me most of my career. Both hands, voila. So you push down. I always get the air bubbles out first so that you have a nice consistency. And there we go. So we're going to move this away. And now we are going to take our pretty bouquet, and I'm going to, what I was thinking of is my next color will either be yellow or white. Once I go around the perimeter with this purple and I see what it looks like with the pink, then I'll be able to decide whether or not yellow might be too much or it might not be enough. So because I've got two carnation style flowers here going on, I'm going to do a rosette. I'm going to go from the edges around